No, 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 no. False alarm. Shut the sirens down. Send the police home. Send the paramedics and fire away. For at least another night, Wardell Stephen Curry still represents greatness. The veterans stepped up in a desperate situation, and I've got Frank Red joining me. Frank, you ready to recap a feel-good win? I don't know if it solves big picture issues, but for at least one night, things seem normal again. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, and I would agree with you. I think they got some issues to deal with, but it feels good to get a win. That's for sure.
Hell yeah, man. And we're going to break it down here on Golden Days, powered by FanDuel.
Let's go.
And yes, FanDuel is the official sponsor of Golden Days. Welcome to the program. My name is Cyrus Saatsaz. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram at DogWild. The program at Golden Days Pod. Frank, where can people find you on social media?
You can check out the In the Dungeon show, a show I host on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Right there on the screen on YouTube. And you can follow me on X at BitFrankRed. And
there is not a line. I'm looking at the FanDuel Sportsbook right now, and the Warriors, the last time I looked at it, it was a surprising. Again, this goes to show the bookies just know what the hell they're talking about. The Warriors were 4.5-point underdogs, and I was shocked when I first saw that because they just been coming off that blowout loss in OKC, and I'm looking at this going, what do the bookies know that I'm missing here? I was expecting like a 9 or 10-point spread, and not only did the Warriors cover that, if you bet them, the money line was insane. Like in terms of a favorable money line for the Warriors, it was like not only were they plus 4.5, but the money line was like plus 160. And which is an unusual discrepancy there. Usually if a team is only a 4.5-point underdog, the money line will be like plus 130, but it was much higher than that. So if you bet on the Warriors, kudos to you, especially if you bet on the money line, because that was a nice payout to get back. And there is no line right now Friday. If you had to guess, Frank, because something tells me San Antonio is going to come out with a vengeance on Friday. I mean, look, who knows, man? I mean, anything could happen, but what would be your guess for what the line is going to be for Friday's rematch? And that one's going to be an NBA Cup game. I love the fact that Prime's going to carry it. I like their coverage so far. What is your preview for Friday? We'll revisit this in a little bit, but for now, at least what's your prediction for a spread?
I'm going to say +6 San Antonio.
Dude, that's on the money. I would guess the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And you can find all that stuff, again, with their official sponsor, FanDuel, who we're eternally grateful for. And I'm always, every time I visit their website, I can't resist going to the wins and losses totals. And and you can't bet on the Warriors right now. There is no line. The last time I looked at it, the highest it went was 51.5. And when I saw that, I was just thinking, damn, like whoever's betting the under on that, like you're scoring. Congratulations. Last time I saw it yesterday was 49.5. And right now, I don't know what the bookie saw in this game that made them rethink, or I don't know if there was movement in terms of people betting on the Warriors, but you can't bet even the OU right now for wins, which is not the norm. But and again, welcome to the program. The final score in this one, if it's actually over, I think I stopped waiting. I feel like the final 30 seconds of this game was taking about half an hour. It reminded me of the old school days when like the end of every NBA game takes like 45 minutes unnecessarily at that. This echoed those feelings again of late games that just stretch way longer than it should be. It hurts the product of the game. Just my opinion. So I don't even, is it over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. 125 to 120.
There we go. And I see it right here. Look, this was a game that did not start well at all for Golden State. Steve Kerr mixed it up in terms of the starting lineup, went with Will Richard as a starting 2, Moses Moody as a starting 3, Jimmy Butler back at the 4. A lot of small ball tonight, which worked. I like and ultimately, bigger picture, at least when it comes to Steve Kerr's thinking, Frank, it makes more and more sense from Steve Kerr's perspective why he does it. And what I'm referring to more specifically tonight is the minutes that GP2 gets, the minutes Brandon Pajemski gets. Those two know how to set screens and make Stephen Curry's life easy offensively. Defensively, it's a whole other story. But that's what I saw, which resulted in our player of the game, the FanDuel player of the game. And I don't think there's any dispute who that is tonight. Originally, if we were going to give this award at the end of the first half, it was going to easily go to Moses Moody, who single-handedly saved the Warriors from this game just being blown away. The Spurs had this under control. They finished the first quarter ahead 28-14. Then Moses Moody in the second quarter, and I have that box score for just what he did in that second quarter alone. Moses Moody in quarter two, 4 of 5 from the field, 3 of 4 from deep. I think there was a stretch there where I think he scored between the second and third quarters. I think he'd scored like 12 straight points. Don't quote me on that. It was something in that vein, though. But 11 second quarter points for Moses Moody. And at that point, I was thinking, all right, maybe this is our player of the game. Moses Moody is on fire. But then Stephen Curry shows up, and especially in the third quarter. What I saw from Steph, who's easily our player of the game tonight, and I'll read the full box score in just a second. But in the third quarter of this game, Stephen Curry went into the time machine, and that performance in quarter three led to him achieving his 43rd career 30 points or more night, past the age, or 40 points or more night. I'm sorry, past the age of 30. And I'll show this graphic right now here for the audience, just to display the absolute greatness of this accomplishment. It really is incredible. I mean, the fact that LeBron James is not on this list, I think is a little telling. For all the folks out there that like to point to him as being this elite scorer. Stephen Curry finished tonight's game putting up 44 points. Again, the 43rd time in his career that he scored 40 or more after the age of 30. And the final box score, I'll get to it in just a second, but the third quarter, he was on fire, and everything that had been bothering him, everything that had made me repeatedly blare the sirens and start panicking the F out. I was like confident that Steph was going to snap out of this. And thankfully he did. Yeah, let's shut the sirens off. We're not there yet. It was incredible. But what I saw Steph do tonight, Frank, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this right off the bat before we get into the final numbers. The three-point shot was not falling right off the bat in this game. And to give you an example of this, in the first half of tonight's match, Stephen Curry was just 1 of 6 from 3. And he wasn't putting his legs into it. And that's what I routinely kept seeing from Steph, not just tonight in the first half, but all season. And that's what was really making me worry about him as a whole, is the shots were looking flat. He wasn't putting his legs into it. He was forcing it routinely. He looked like a player that was just frustrated out there with the results. And what he did tonight, which epitomizes his greatness to me, given the three-point shot still was not falling, he realized, all right, I got to get this going in other ways. And he started attacking the paint. And he attacked, and he attacked, and he kept getting these easy buckets. He was getting plus ones. Steph finished the game tonight in terms of free throw attempts. I know he went to the line a lot. I've not even looked at this stat yet. But from the free throw line, Steph was 13 of 14. That makes perfect sense. And he was making things happen regardless of whether or not that three-point shot was going to fall. He was getting these buckets inside. And that eventually, I think, gave him the confidence and the rhythm to start hoisting up those threes again. And when they started falling, it was over. And Steph, again, finishes with 44 points tonight. I believe that's the final total. Frank, what did you see from Steph that allowed him to switch gears and not fade away into oblivion, which again was a massive concern of mine that thankfully, at least for another night, we're not going to talk about?
We got to understand, I mean, myself and everybody, Stephen Curry is one of the few players in the history of sports that literally never loses his confidence. So his technique might be off a little bit, but he never loses confidence. So if he works himself into it, it might be within the game, it might be a couple of games, but he's going to find his technique because he has a perfect shot, right? So yeah, I never doubt that he's going to find it. It might take a couple of games, but players go bad when they lose their confidence. He never loses his confidence. So, and as the game gets easier for him, he gets more confidence. And because a guy like Moses Moody tonight basically carried the Warriors in sports, Jimmy Butler carried the Warriors. On the defensive end, Draymond Green carried the Warriors because he stifled Victor Wembanyama. So I'm not surprised. I don't take it for granted. But Stephen Curry, I've watched him enough to know that when you shoot like that, when you have that level of confidence, at some point you're going to find it. And that's what he did tonight.
And he did. And it was a fantastic game for him. Our audience, a member in the audience saying that I was incorrect about the 44 points. It was actually 46. Thank you. I was going off what ESPN was telling me because the NBA box score I rely on had not finalized yet. It has now, and ESPN also corrected their box score. Here's the stat line for a FanDuel player of the game. It goes without saying. Wardell Stephen Curry, an unbelievable night. He deserves applause. I might as well, if I'm playing sound effects, I might as well also give Steph his due. Absolutely, Mr. Sure. 46 points on the night. Again, the 3-point shot. Even when he started to correct it in the third and fourth quarters, it still was not consistently falling, still not at the efficiency rate we're accustomed to with Steph. 5 of 16 from deep, but he was 13 of 25 from the field, which means that for the game inside that 3-point arc, Steph was 8 of 9 when he wasn't hoisting up threes. And again, he also had those 16 trips to the free throw line. So maybe he got 2 more points at the very end there that at least I missed. But he was making things happen. And beyond that, besides the 46 points, again, 13 of 25 from the field, 8 of 9 from 2-point range, if that's the right way to say it. 5 of 16 from deep, 15 of 16 from the free throw line, adds 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, a +3 in net rating for whatever that's worth. Wardell, congratulations. It's a relief to see that our beloved Bay Area athlete, a man who I think right now, and Frank, you're a fellow longtime Northern California resident. To me, it's the debate is him and Joe Montana. I know some people like to bring up Willie Mays as well, but Willie don't have the rings that those two have. They each have 4, and that says something. Not to mention Willie started his career in New York before the franchise moved over. So I get the Willie Mays sentiment, but for me at least, it's Steph, it's Joe, and Steph might surpass Joe Montana, and maybe in a lot of people's minds he already has. But your takeaway from Steph, reminding the world he ain't dead yet. He's still going strong. And even though the 3-point shooting was not efficient, he can still create. And the Warriors desperately needed him to pull off the victory tonight.
Never surprised by what he does. I don't take it for granted. But just knowing his college coach, Bob McKillop, was a high school coach when I was in high school. And, I give Kirk credit and Mark Jackson, his parents, but his foundation, his basketball life really took hold at Davidson. And I can only imagine the confidence that he got playing for Bob McKillop, his work ethic, his desire to be the best that he can be. It's just not surprising. He's one of one. He's like, he's like Jordan, he's like Kobe, he's like all of these great players and Montanas in football. So I just sit back and watch it because he's still doing it now. It's not going to last forever. I don't ever want to think about not watching this guy play basketball because he's awesome.
And that's why I was panicking. I thought that moment was here, or at least it was coming. And again, at least for a night, that thought is not going to cross my mind anymore because that was an exemplary performance. Side note, my TV has ESPN on right now, and I can't wait when we're done speaking tonight, Frank. I'm going right to my TV and watching Inside the NBA. It's still my favorite program on TV by far. It's pure entertainment.
You know what's interesting about that? I had some trepidation about, ESPN is going to change them and put their handcuffs and it's not going to be as good.
Me too.
It's been great. It's been awesome.
I love, but also delated entertainment in the chat saying that he's watching, or she, is watching this program with jazz records playing in the background. Bravo. That's the way to do it. The only other time we're playing music on this program is at the very end with the scoreboard. So that's one way to roll. I respect that tremendously. I love jazz. Side note. I'm picky with it, but the good jazz you can't beat. You're a huge movie buff, by the way. Which jazz artist was it for the movie Sinners, like that played himself at the end? Was it I can't remember who it was, but it was a beautiful homage just to music in general. And also the jazz and the blues. And I can't remember who that person was though, the actor and musician.
Well, Raphael Sadiq did the score. Oakland's own Raphael Sadiq.
Yes.
So maybe it was Raphael Sadiq. But he scored that movie, and Raphael Sadiq is one of my all-time favorite artists in music. He's awesome.
Absolutely. And I love the people in the chat. They just can't resist bringing up Kaminga. I promise we will talk about him in detail. We got to give the pecking order its due, though. And it starts with Steph. And then I want to switch over to Dre, who I think if we're going to have a runner-up to a player of the game honor being issued, the runner-up is Draymond Green. And his performance tonight was yet another example of why the box score, at least for him and select few others, doesn't mean jack shit. What Draymond did tonight defensively on Victor Wembanyama was absolutely spectacular. He was causing problems all night for Wemby. Wemby never looked comfortable when he was near the rim. And that was almost entirely because of Dre. Draymond Green, real quickly here, stat-wise from the box score, played 26 minutes, 41 seconds. His three-point shot was not falling. I think he came into this game shooting 45% from three. I guarantee that number has plummeted after tonight because he went 0 of 7 from deep. And when he's shooting threes, they're usually wide open. That's what teams do. They're going to dare Dre to shoot those, and sometimes it burns those teams in the ass, and sometimes the strategy pays off. Tonight, the strategy paid off in the sense that he wasn't making them. They still lost, though. But Draymond, 1 of 10 from the field, 0 of 7 from deep. He did make all 4 of his free throw attempts, which is clutch. And Dre's got kind of like that Shaquille O'Neal mindset, I feel like, with free throws, where when they matter, they actually go in. And when if it's like in the middle of the game, mid-second quarter, and it just run-of-the-mill routine stuff, who knows what's going to happen with the free throw shots. And I'm not saying Dre's as bad of a free throw shooter as Shaq, but if you watched Shaq in his career, and he infamously used to always say that as well, right? Like when people would rip on him for the free throws, he'd always respond with, I make them when they count. And Draymond Green tonight, all 4 of those free throws were pivotal, added 5 rebounds, 4 assists, fouled out of this game late. Again, that was the challenge, defending Victor Wembanyama. And tonight he won that battle, added a steal, did have 4 turnovers, and the net rating box score. Interesting because you look at most other players on the team, Will Richard, who started, +1, Jimmy Butler, who had a great game tonight as well, +6, Moses Moody, who we talked about his first half a moment ago, which was insanely good, was +4, Steph was +3, Draymond Green, and you look at the bench, by the way, Kaminga -10, Al Horford -12, Buddy Hield -3, Quentin Post 2, GP2, who had an unbelievable night. Speaking of the time machine, +9. Draymond Green, a +15 in net rating. A stat that, again, is incredibly subjective, but his pops. And he finishes with 6 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, a atypical triple single for Draymond Green. And Frank, a 2-part question, if you don't mind. I obviously talk about his performance tonight, but I also am curious what you thought about his comments last night, which may have been effective. I mean, maybe those words lit a fire under his team. Side note, and I posted this on my Threads account. I'm done with Twitter. Side note, that platform. I'll still use I'll still maybe like retweet shit and use it for marketing purposes, but it's such a cesspool. And that piece of shit Elon who preaches about free speech suspended my account for a week because some troll went in my replies and said I'm a moron. And so I naturally returned the favor in kind, went to their profile and replied with similar sentiments. And for whatever reason, I got locked out for a week for doing that. It's utterly insane. Meanwhile, I'm on that platform looking at every other account in the algo feed, and it's just racist shit. It's just misogynistic shit, the most hateful content ever. But I called someone a moron, and for that, I'm locked out for a week. So that platform has never, ever helped me with measurables for this program. All I've ever seen is this show actually go up in numbers when I don't use it. So I don't mean to go off on Twitter, but I'm done with that place. Nonetheless, I don't even know why I brought that up. Draymond Green, his words, and then, because I went on social media to let people know that Jimmy Butler's words, because Jimmy also followed up Draymond's comments by discussing, I don't remember what the exact words were, but he was kind of echoing Dre's sentiments about buying into the team and folks and not playing just about yourself, the agenda talk. And I can confirm this with absolute certainty. Jimmy Butler was not talking about Jonathan Kaminga. I had like multiple sources tell me that, like 3 of them, one inside the team as well. And so who knows who Dre was picking out, but what was your reaction to Draymond saying that? And again, he could have been calling out the whole team for all we know. Like who knows? Maybe he just literally was looking at the box score and was like, F all y'all. Who knows? But Draymond's words made a difference. I mean, it made Steve Kerr react. The team itself played like they had a fire lit under them. What was your reaction to Dre's comments and his performance tonight?
I mean, I always look forward to Draymond talking, even when it's not good. Sometimes it doesn't land well, and we could talk about that. But those are honest comments. And what I thought about was being on a team that is struggling and dealing with strife. Those are real relationships that happen in real time. And sometimes it's good to talk about them. I would say overall, Draymond was mentioning a little bit of everything. First and foremost, the Warriors have been losing games, not because of individual selfishness. Their defense has been terrible. And even by tonight, I don't want to single them out, but the Warriors had a chance tonight because Kerr finally got Pod's off the court. Pod's defense has been atrocious this year.
Yes.
And he's putting these older guys in a bad position. So if they're not shooting well, they're down 15, 16, 17 points. That's not all on Pods. But when you come out and you make statements and say, I want to be better than Stephen Curry, if you think that the players don't look at him with a side eye, and then your coach doesn't come out and say anything, no one else would get away with that. Nobody. So internally, I think the players run the locker room, and they were talking about a lot of different things. So, I think probably some of that was like, yo, Kaminga, you might not like how Kerr is handling you, but we are a team, and you need to be coached.
I like that.
And we need to win.
I like that. Yeah.
I love Draymond's comments because they resonated with the players and the fans.
Yeah, and I feel like Kaminga has been playing the part of being selfless. I mean, he had 0 points tonight, and I don't think that was because he sucked. It was because he was just trying to do his part, play his role. And Podziemski, again, tonight was another reminder. Tonight was actually a decent game for him, sort of. There were moments defensively, like there was a late fourth quarter a possession where Stefan Castle, who, side note, is gonna be an incredible player in this league. I love his game. He was attacking Steph all night, and Steph was having problems on that side of the ball on defense. But there was a play late in the game where Stefan Castle got blocked by Podziemski. He does. Pods has one block on the box score, and I think it was that play. He had some defensive moments. I also see more and more what Steve Kerr's modus operatus is, and that is make sure everything I do is designed so Steph can feel comfortable, so Steph can thrive, and then hope that if Steph's thriving, it all falls into place beyond that. And we could have, I don't know, is that a fair opinion? Like, do you disagree with that?
No, I don't. The offense is built around Steph.
Yeah.
And if he's not comfortable, the offense is going to look like it has looked over the past 2 or 3 games. So he has to be comfortable. So no, I totally agree with you.
And again, that and the narrow sighted part of that philosophy, at least to me, is if there's other players on your team that can be like 25, 30 point a night scorers, that can be potential superstars, they're not the focus, plain and simple. And I feel like ultimately that's Kaminga's a struggle with Kerr, with the system. And I also do think he is doing his best to play the part. Would you agree? Like what's your sentiment overall, Kaminga? We can get into this now. Like, do you like how he's playing so far this year? And he had a strong start, and the last 4 or 5 games, the minutes have just been doing like this. Tonight he played 12 minutes, 6 seconds. But he also played those minutes coming off the bench in moments where they desperately needed him. He was part of that second quarter unit that started to come back. I know Moses Moody was draining all the threes, but Kaminga was out there playing D, hustling. I can't remember who Kaminga was assigned to defensively, but maybe it was Harrison Barnes, who, side note, his 3-point stroke is like night and day from what it was when he was on the Warriors. That thing is sweet looking now. My God. I mean, but what's your take on Kaminga this year as a whole?
I mean, he got off to a really, really good start. As you know, I'm a Kaminga supporter. I want him to win 1,000 times. With that said, I wish that he had grew up in Oakland or New York or LA or somewhere like that, because at this point, all of these players from those communities, Chicago, so many others, I'm not only naming a few, but they would have the ability to totally tune the coach out at this point. And Kaminga doesn't. When Kaminga feels bad or he feels like he's not being respected, unconsciously, it changes his energy. It really does. He goes from this vibrant player who's making plays on the offensive end and the defensive end, running full tilt, to maybe thinking about, does this guy really want me to be successful?
Yeah.
And I see that as a basketball player, and that affects him. And it frustrates me because Kerr doesn't do anything that's not calculated. You go back to last week, the game was against Indiana, and all of a sudden he wanted to show Kaminga that he was still the boss. He took him out, and he played 24 minutes. And Kaminga, you can tell he wasn't happy about that. So the challenge is, all right, you are the coach, but you can't lose this guy. And when that happens, Kaminga sometimes can go into a funk. It frustrates me because he should be able to tune Kerr out and just go out there and play. But I think unconsciously it does bother him when he thinks that, Kerr is not totally trusting him or he wants him to win.
And one flaw with Kerr, and even he's admitted this, is communicating with his players at a level that can at least give them some comfort and security. David West, infamously, publicly, David West, following his last year with the Warriors, infamously came out and said, "You have no idea what was going on behind the scenes this last year," and he never got into specifics. And then Steve Kerr came out and said one of his biggest regrets was not telling David West in the 2018 Western Conference Finals that he was essentially going to be DNP'd for that entire series. And that really put David West in a bad mental space. And side note, for folks who aren't familiar, Frank, you played D1 basketball. I've only been covering the Warriors for 25 years. I've played my whole life, not at the level you did. My physical attributes limited me. But again, we have folks like Desiree saying, no, what you and I have just said about Kerr is completely wrong. The system works for all if you can shoot. Case in point, Kevin Durant fit perfectly. And again, Desiree, to put you in check, yes, for those 3 years, Kevin Durant and the Warriors, they won 2 titles. You could argue maybe they underachieved by not winning the third one, but injuries and wear and tear will catch up with you. But are you not aware as well that Kevin Durant left because of Steve Kerr? And Kevin Durant, when the Warriors could have traded for him, didn't want to come back entirely because of Steve Kerr's coaching. So, yeah, the system can work like on paper, but you're not factoring in individual psyches. You're not factoring in, like how individual human beings operate. And if you're a star who knows in their head they have the talent to take over, it takes communication to acquiesce these individuals, to make them feel comfortable with this role that you are forcing them into, and that they in their minds know can do far more than. So it is not productive to run a system like that. The system isn't just what's on paper. The system's also rotational decisions. The system is also when you play, when you don't play, how you communicate and treat different players. Like, are you exhibiting double standards, for example? And the answer to that is yes. And I think that is counterproductive. And that to me is Kerr's biggest weakness, is just not being able to make others feel as special as Steph clearly does. I mean, Steph loves the man, and for good reason, but I digress. And so Kaminga tonight was, again, played very limited minutes. I don't remember seeing him in the second half. If he played, it was very,
like
actually
12
the
minutes,
box
I
score.
believe. I think he beat 12 minutes.
12 minutes total, right. But in the second half, I was trying to look up to see if he actually even played in the second half. Hold on, this box score is not updated. Give me 1 second here. So in the second half of tonight's game, Kaminga did not play at all. So the Warriors did what they had to do, but GP2 got a big run. Yeah. Finishing up on the Podziemski talk, what I keep seeing time and time and again, which leads me to believe the reason why he plays so much, despite the poor shooting, despite the defense, is because he goes all out for setting these incredible screens for Steph. GP2 does that as well. Like they're just very intuitively in tune with Steph in terms of where he's going to go, and their entire mentality is making Steph's life easier. And maybe that's what the players that don't get the same minutes under Kerr, that's the reason why, is because they're not out there with the singular focus of how am I going to make Steph feel better and play better out there instead of doing things on my own. It's an interesting dichotomy, but and ultimately, Frank, they won tonight. It was huge. I'm a big picture guy. Like, I want this team to win a 5th championship. And me personally, I don't think they win a 5th championship if you don't figure out how to incorporate Kaminga and make him feel comfortable. And again, playing a mad scientist with rotations, with minutes. Tonight it worked. Great. You snapped the 6-game road losing streak. That was huge. You won in San Antonio, one of the most hostile environments in the NBA. I think they were undefeated at home entering tonight. But again, big picture, look, it's early in the season, so there's a lot of time to course correct things. I just hope they do. I just don't see what they did tonight as a model you can sustain through April and then the postseason. Or maybe I'm crazy. This is why you're joining me. Your thoughts on the big picture, given the usage with the veterans tonight and the fact that the Warriors desperately needed Steph, Dre, and Jimmy Butler, who we'll talk about in just a second, to play well over 30 minutes and just give it their all to pull out this win.
Jonathan Kaminga is one of the top 4 players on the team. How are you going to be your best if you don't have one of the top 4 players on the team playing his best? Now, I'm going to tell you what bugs me, though, and it really bothers me. The Warriors got like 19 coaches.
It's crazy.
But when you look at like the fundamentals of some of these players, even Kaminga leans to the right, and that hurts him. Jimmy Butler comes to the Warriors, and he immediately uses his triple threat skills to just do whatever he wants to do on the court. Jonathan Kaminga still has not really learned that. He leans to a side, and defensive players play to his tendencies.
Yeah,
his footwork needs to improve. Why isn't he being coached that?
That's always been my that's my entire point that I keep trying to make, that a good half of this. Yeah.
So when I look at Jonathan Kaminga's struggle sometimes on the offensive end, it's the result that he's not being coached up to his full ability. So sometimes he's in vulnerable situations that make it difficult for him.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a problem with him not playing in the second half. Big picture, his talent is going to show if he's on the court, but he could be better with better coaching.
And I brought up a few moments ago, I was talking about David West and communication, and the whole reason why I brought that up, and I'm stoked I remember that, so we can bring this back full circle, is Kaminga, that game you referred to, and it was both the Pacers and the Bucks games, more specifically, where his minutes went from being above 30. He was an instrumental part of the team, and it got diminished. He was playing about 25 those 2 games. Kerr didn't tell him he was going to do that.
Right, exactly.
And that's the problem. Like when Kerr is communicating with his players, they have a lot easier time accepting it. Right. But when you're just doing it on the fly, and suddenly like you're sitting there, just sitting on a bench, just wondering, and you're suddenly thinking, your thoughts can run a million places, and chief among them, why am I here and not out there? I do also agree with you that he's still very raw. There's still a lot of things that he needs to be coached on to improve. Sasha Jones providing some context, and I missed this tonight, dropping $4.99. Thank you, saying that Kaminga was ruled out of the second half. I didn't see this at all. And Anthony Slater apparently tweeted this, according to Sasha Jones, because of that knee soreness that did have him on the injury report as questionable. But regardless, what are you going to do? The Warriors did win. That's the good news. Again, I just think big picture, and I think context is important with every show we do, every analysis we provide. Tonight the Warriors looked great. It was fantastic. Yeah, I mean, shit. I did not want to do a show tonight with another loss. Like at a certain point, maybe a loss or two here and there is kind of interesting to do because you can point out what they did wrong. You can focus on how they can correct mistakes. When you start losing like in a streak, it turns from interesting to just boring and depressing, and it's not interesting anymore. And nobody wants that. I also didn't want the morale of the team to sink even more. I was hitting full-blown panic buttons about Steph. Were you panicked about Steph? Because clearly in hindsight, it was irrational. And I'll admit that. I'm human, right? And again, with Steph, there's a lot of emotions from my perspective that comes in because I flat out love the man. I've never denied it from day one. I've admitted to the audience repeatedly, like, you will not ever get an episode of Golden Days where I'm just going to bash this guy. That's not going to happen. And if you want to accuse me of bias, so be it. But if there's one dude that to me is above the fray of criticism, it's Steph. He's done too much for me to nitpick his game at this stage. But with that said, I'm also not going to be, I dread a little bit that time when it comes, if it comes, shit, who knows, when Steph starts to show his age. And so I was freaking out a little bit, and that freak out feelings of mine have diminished, at least for now. What is your sentiments on Steph now that we're 13 games to the season? I think that's the case. The Warriors now 7-6 on the year.
I have no doubt that Stephen Curry is going to average 25 points a game, 6 assists, shoot over 40 from 3, 90 from 3-point range, and lead this team to 50 wins. And we'll see what happens in the playoffs. When he's not playing well, it's because he's tired, right? He's tired, or he's being overwhelmed by good defensive teams that are running 2 and 3 guys at him, which means that his teammates are not making shots. Because if his teammates are making shots, then that can't happen. So everything is predicated on how well his teammates are playing. I think Curry does a really good job managing his minutes and sitting him out when he shows that he is starting to wear down. But if he's healthy, because his fundamentals are so good, Si, he's still going to be able to play really good basketball. He's an above-average ball handler, above-average passer, and he's a terrific shooter. He drives to the basket. We've never seen anything like this guy before.
Frank, you might get some shit for that, but by saying he's above average at ball handling, when there's a lot of people out there who claim he's one of the greatest ever, are you doubling down on that claim, or do you want to kind of?
Let me make a distinction. He's an excellent ball handler, but he's also careless. All right, so he's careless with the ball. He gets bored, but good ball handling is this: when you are in front of me, do I have the ability to get to the spot that I want to get to for my shot on the perimeter, or elude you and get to the basket? He can still do that against the best defenders. So he is a high-level defender, but he's also careless at times. And a lot of that happens because he is tired. And the court is tilting towards him. And every now and then he'll make a bad one-handed pass. But I'll go to my grave. Listen, I know what excellent ball handlers look like. Stephen Curry is a tremendous ball handler.
Agreed. He's unbelievable. And I agree with everything you said there. Latasha in her chat, again, if you're coming to the show late, refrain from strong opinions so that I don't call you out for ignorance. Latasha is accusing me of calling the Warriors a lottery team without Kaminga. And now I'm back on the Curry bandwagon. Look, I'll repeat myself again. This was a great win tonight. I also have zero faith. I don't think there's a chance in hell that if they run their team like this all season, they still will be a lottery team, or at least a play-in or something. They're not a title contender. I said this at the beginning. I'll say it again. If your goal is lofty, meaning a 5th championship, which I thought is the goal, I hope it's still the goal, and not just cheerleading for Steph in his final year or two. They gotta figure it out somehow. Either you integrate Kaminga, outside of a trade for Trey Murphy, I really don't know what's out there if you're going to move him, because you still have to keep in mind how the team thinks, which is not just this year and that's it. They're also thinking about next year, 2 years from now. And what they don't want is an empty cupboard 2 years from now. They want something to build on for the next generation. Even if they blow this up, after this year, hypothetically, like Kaminga will likely still be a part of this long term. That 2-year contract he signed had a team option for year 2 specifically, so the Warriors can renegotiate after the season and give him a longer term deal after this year. But they want to see how this season plays out. So again, Latasha, just kindly please pay attention to words and don't just assume shit. Look, tonight was unbelievable. But when you look at the minutes, Steph played 33 minutes, 34 seconds. Jimmy Butler played 33 minutes, 48 seconds of intense basketball. Like they were trying the entire time out there. They had no chance to really take a breath. There was desperation in that play. And if they're going to play like this all season so we're 13 games in, so 69 more regular season games. If they're going to play like this, yeah, they're not going anywhere. Like they're cooked. Frank, am I talking crazy here?
No, you're not. You're talking logic, using logic, and you're using science. And particularly at their age, they need their young players, their teammates, to live up to their potential. Buddy Hield has been a no-show this year. Pods defensively has been not good. Al Horford, the last couple of games, is looking like the guy that they thought they were acquiring from Boston.
Yeah.
But he had a 3 or 4 game stretch in which he couldn't throw the ball in the ocean. So it's really about the collective. If the collective is playing at a high level, this team can compete against anybody. But if the onus is on 3 guys to be overwhelming on a nightly basis, it's not going to happen.
Strongly agree. Al Horford, speaking of which, it was like a tale of 2 halves for him. In the first half, 3 points. Thankfully, that 3-point shot's falling. That did make a difference tonight. Because in the second half, he only had 6 points in the second. But overall, for his box score total, I just felt like he was making a lot more big plays in the second half. 9 points to go with 3 rebounds, 3 assists. I thought the most crucial moment of this game for Al Horford was filling in for Draymond Green in the fourth quarter when he picked up his 5th foul, and the team just needed some competency along with size out there just to stay afloat. And look, you can look at the Spurs as well, and I guarantee that Spurs locker room right now is livid because in their minds they blew a game that they easily should have won. As Warriors fans are cheering a win tonight, as you should. But again, big picture here. All right, this is not just we're not celebrating a single regular season game and treating it like a championship. It's an 82-game season, and my focus again is get to April in a decent position, and then hopefully you have what it takes to get through that gauntlet at that point. But it's a long ways away, and regardless, I'm still personally just elated that Steph found his form. I'm stoked that the Warriors snapped their 6-game road losing streak, and I'm looking for sound right now. I want to see if any multimedia elements have dropped following this game tonight. Frank, well, I'm looking to see if there's any sound yet to play for the audience and for us to dissect. What is your background in San Antonio? You ever been? And I asked that because the Warriors play again there Friday, and my thought in terms of what the team is going to do these next 2 days is sleep, maybe fit into practice, although I doubt it. But more specifically, sleep and barbecue. What's your take on San Antonio for an extended stay?
Most people go to San Antonio, they drive to Austin. I've been to San Antonio. I've been to Austin. You got the Riverwalk down there, some real nice restaurants, good people. The weather's generally decent. But when you go to San Antonio, you usually drive to Austin. So
because it's a short drive, it's very
about
short.
an hour away or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
and there's like a town in
I've been
between too. That's kind of fun. I forgot what it's called. Where is it? Texas State University is the school there. But yes, first of all, the Riverwalk is very touristy. Something tells me the players aren't going to do that. Maybe do players do that from your? Because I can't answer this clearly. I have no idea. Like, would the players do that?
Jimmy Butler's kind of an interesting guy. He might. He's from Texas. He probably knows some people down there. So, maybe not the Riverwalk per se, but I think some trendy little restaurant, or maybe there's some places in San Antonio that I don't know about. But I think they probably get out and try to see, the geography a little bit. Get out and meet the people. They don't want to stay in the hotel rooms all day. They're going to be there for a couple of days.
And Martin Lay Vamelon in their chat saying churro factory. That always makes me think of Charles Barkley when he used to mock the women in San Antonio, and he correlated that with churros. That's all I'm going to say. But very few people can get away with that level of comedy, and Chuck is one of them. No sound yet, surprisingly, or at least surprisingly for me. Maybe it's early. Maybe the beat reporters are just taking the night off from publishing any sound. I don't know what's going on there. But one, you brought up Jimmy Butler a second ago. I thought this was a great game for him as well. He's had some critics out there lately. In terms of his play, his intensity, and even following last night with the Dre comments, you had some people, the chatter being that maybe Jimmy Butler was the target of that rhetoric. He had a great game tonight. He stepped up. 33 minutes, 48 seconds of play, 7 of 12 from the field, and maybe the stat that pops, because usually when Jimmy Butler is draining threes, it's out of necessity, like the shot clock's running low. The team is just kind of like stuck offensively with the defense just pressuring, trapping. And he just usually like when I picture a Jimmy Butler three, it's under duress. It's the shot clock's winding down. He's rushing it, and they go in often, which is even crazier. And he's got that weird like arc to the shot where it just looks level the whole time, but then it goes, it's nothing but net, like, which is just insane to me. And tonight was weird because he was just taking open threes. It was almost like by design. And Jimmy Butler was 5 of 7 from deep. He's going to get to the free throw line. That's one of many amazing things about him. He was 9 of 12 from the free throw line, added 6 rebounds, added 8 assists, added 3 steals. To go with the 28 points on the night. Fantastic performance from Jimmy Butler. For any of the folks out there who still hate on Golden State for trading for him, maybe this is a strong opinion, but I don't think they win this game tonight, regardless of Steph's heroics. They needed Jimmy Butler making those plays. What was your analysis of Jimmy tonight?
Awesome. Jimmy Butler is another one of those players that I really don't worry about. And the reason why is because if basketball is an IQ test, this dude's a 90%er. I mean, there might be games in which he's not making shots. He might not be at his best. His energy might not. But intellectually, he always makes the right play 90% of the time.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's why Kerr likes him. And I think that's why people who consider themselves students of the game or informed fans, you go, wow, this guy is a really good basketball player. Now, he does become disenchanted when he's playing with guys who are not intelligent players. And the Warriors have a couple of guys. I don't want to throw them out there, but the Warriors have some guys.
Do it, Frank. Just name them.
Buddy Hield.
Thank you. Well, dude, we'll touch on that. That dude's minutes are frustrating. Continue on. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, there are times in which Buddy Hield makes Naismith roll over in his grave, man. I mean, it's just god awful. I mean, he can have like 3 or 4 5-minute stretches where you go, what the hell is going on? And I mean, it's frustrating, and at the same time, Buddy Hield's like the lovable cousin now. Everybody wants to see this guy be successful because he's clearly a good guy. Mm-hmm. But sometimes when he's on the court, he looks like he's never played basketball before. and guys like Jimmy Butler and Steph, to a lesser degree, it infuriates them. And consciously, their intensity starts to go awry at times. So Jimmy Butler likes to play with smart players. Well, that's not happening,
Yes, he does. Which is all the more reason why I continue having a shitload of faith in Kaminga. Jimmy Butler loves this guy. Took him under his wing. I thought the best piece of advice that Jimmy Butler said in a recent interview pertaining to advice he's given Kaminga is to just stay even keel, regardless of the minutes, regardless of the performance. Just don't feel bad following certain nights. Also, don't feel that good following certain nights. Just stay the course emotionally. Like just don't let these moments get to you, and just stay focused. And I love that Jimmy Butler is a part of this team. And I don't know if that's true for everyone. I feel like that's a conflicting sentiment depending on who you ask. Great night for Jimmy. Taking a look at my notes real fast. One thing I'm noticing from officials, and I don't know, Frank, if you've noticed this as well, but NBA fans who hate the Warriors, and there are quite a few out there, largely because they're just bitter that the Warriors have enjoyed the amount of success that they have when they want their own team to have parades. As was it Jalen Rose who infamously said that once about Kobe? He goes, I want parades. I want to hold up I want a ring. I want to hold up I want to walk down a parade. That was one of the funniest things ever. But but one thing I bring that up because a lot, you have a lot of fans out there who attack the Warriors, and one repeated criticism, at least I see from opposing fans, is, dude, the refs never bail you out with fouls on screeners. Like, you guys can screen however you want, and that sets stuff up and blah blah. Well, there's a trend I'm seeing this year from officials, and I don't know if you're noticing this as well or not, but there have been a lot of foul calls on the Warriors for illegal screens. Right. And Podziemski got called for at least one tonight. I think GP2 got called for one tonight. I think Draymond might have been called for one tonight. And the Warriors are getting called for this a lot. I never ever remember seeing this at the clip that's happening now. And I don't know if this is by design to counterbalance the rule change for the high five fouls, right? Where people can't make contact with 3-point shooters anymore, even with after the shot's been released. I don't know if this is a way for the NBA to try to even things out. That sounds a little conspiratorial, but these things happen. Have you noticed that too? Is it just me?
No, and actually, you're using logic. To pinpoint something that is happening. Usually, what happens is the officials will identify aspects of the game that they want to address. The high five was one of them. And maybe, sticking your butt out and picking guys, to get your teammates open, that might be something that they're focusing on. What I do know is, generally speaking, at some point in the season, they say, okay, that's enough. We've talked to the guys. They kind of know what we're looking for, and they let some of that stuff go. But I think it is a point of emphasis.
Yeah, I'm seeing that a lot this year. I don't remember ever seeing this rate. Early in the game, I did notice the Spurs, their strategy was to target Stephen Curry defensively early. Like Stephen Castle was going at him routinely. Steph, in case you missed this part of the OKC loss, he had picked up his fifth foul with, I believe, 9:41 remaining in the third quarter. It's his defense is as much of a reason why I was so concerned as the offense. Like, he is being attacked at a rate far more than usual. He's reaching a lot, which usually indicates to me that he's getting beat. And that was, I don't know, that was worrying to me. And the Spurs continued that trend early in this game. I honestly couldn't tell you what happened. I don't know if just an offensive output just kind of neutralizes that strategy. But there was a moment in this game where Stephon Castle scored 9 straight points with Steph and Podziemski out there together. Side note, those two out there together is a bane of my existence. I don't like it. I just don't think those two should be on the court together, but that's just me. I know they won tonight. Big picture, I think the Warriors are far better off. Like for the Kaminga haters out there, I'll say this and I know it's poking you in the ribs a little bit, but I don't care. If Kaminga had all of Podziemski's minutes tonight, Brandon Podziemski played 28 minutes, 52 seconds, meaning if Kaminga had those minutes, I think the Warriors still win. And I don't see Kaminga hurting the team. But Podziemski's defense is a sore point. Like teams are attacking him, they're attacking Steph, and that continued tonight. But again, when the shots start falling, it changes everything, I think. Anything you want to add to that, or have you not noticed that? Maybe you have noticed that. Your thoughts?
Well, no, I mean, like you said earlier, though. I mean, Steph is such a great player that it more than evens out what is average to maybe below average on some nights defensively. Pods is different because I hate to say this, like one of my favorite players, and you know this, in the NBA is DiVincenzo. I love Dante DiVincenzo. You know why? Because Dante DiVincenzo is a white guy from Delaware. And he's like, you know what? In high school, they were calling me the Jordan of Delaware. I love this guy because he competes. Yeah. He's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm white, but you're not going to go at me like that. One of my favorite players is Caruso because he's like, you know what? You're not going to go at me like that. They go at Pods And I don't see that resistance or that, that quote madness stepping up to defend his honor. I see guys going by him. And as a young player, 23, 24, whatever he is, dude, you got to step up and don't use analogies like I'm going to be better than Stephen Curry. That's why they go at you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. But in terms of like being worried about Steph, like do you think that even the defense was just something he needed to shake off in terms of rust? Because that to me is also concerning. Like if you become a liability defensively, I don't know. You're saying no, everything's fine?
Well, no, I don't. Well, everything is fine if he's making shots.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, if he's not making shots, then everything is not fine. But part of good defense is good rebounding.
True.
Part of good defense is changing the defenses. The Warriors played zone against OKC and some of these other teams, even the game they won at home against Phoenix, about 70% of the time. So the onus is on the coaching staff to devise defenses that's going to help them win games. Stephen Curry is never going to be a great defensive player at this point. But because he's so brilliant offensively, it more than evens out. I'm not concerned about his bad defense. I'm really not.
Well, that's good. That's a relief to hear that, because at least I was. GP2, I have to give him a tip of the cap, sir, because he played some incredible minutes out there tonight, especially in that fourth quarter. There was a sequence where he picked up 2 offensive boards on that one possession to prevent San Antonio from coming back because they were trying. And GP2 had 6 rebounds in this game in 14 minutes, 38 seconds. Thankfully, I was cringing a little bit. There was a period, I think late third quarter, where the Warriors had grabbed all the momentum. They started to pull away. And then Steve Kerr rolls out this lineup. It was Steph. It was Pajemski. It was GP2. I think it was Will Richard. And then Quinn Post was out there as well. And I was sweating, man. I was preparing for that lead to just go poof, like out. And they thankfully survived it, but I don't like seeing that long term. I can't believe like Kerr still does that. But look, at the same time, they were so desperate for a win. You can't criticize a single game like this in terms of just surviving. And I mean, momentum's a real thing. And instead of a 7-game road losing streak, you snap that. So that's a relief.
This is a horrible loss for San Antonio, though. This is a terrible loss.
It's terrible. Yes.
It's god awful. And when you look at Wemby, as good as he is, he's still not a very physical player. He's not. I mean, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was older, but he was nasty. Wemby is not nasty. Wemby still, walks in the court and he bumps into people and say, excuse me. And I'm like, dude, no. If you're going to dominate this league, you can't have performances where a guy who we love, Draymond Green, 6'6", 6'7", basically locks you up.
Yeah. It was crazy. You know who I was focused on with San Antonio besides Stephon Castle, who again I think is going to be an unbelievable player someday. Like when he becomes a consistent 3-point shooter, I think he's going to be very dangerous. I don't know if that part of his game is developed yet, but Castle at 23, a triple double. Wow, I didn't realize that until just now. 23 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds. The Spurs, Frank, did you know this? The Spurs had 2 players with triple doubles tonight. Stephon Castle, 23, 10, and 10. Victor Wembanyama, 31, 10 assists, and 15 rebounds. Unbelievable.
I didn't know that. But I tell you this, he's the best player in the league. He's the most talented player in the league.
He's dangerous.
I mean, it's crazy how good that guy is.
Which is all the more reason why what Draymond did tonight was just chef's kiss. Bravo.
But here's another key, and I felt good about this. I'm using somewhat hyperbole, but De'Aaron Fox cannot run a half-court offense. He can't.
That's what I was going to go to. I actually think he hurts this team.
He does.
There were too many possessions where De'Aaron Fox was basically a 6'2" Jonathan Kaminga. Like he was doing the things Kaminga does that drives Warriors fans crazy, which is early shot clock, field goal attempts, not kicking out, just attacking. But he's 6'2". He's not 6'7", and far more efficient at those kind of things. And look, De'Aaron Fox is dangerous, but when you're surrounded by the talent the Spurs have,
right?
Like there were certain possessions where I didn't even know he was going to play tonight. Like, is this his first game of the season?
No,
second?
No, it's like his second or third. And
okay.
And he put some numbers up, but tonight I thought the Warriors had a chance when they got close because I know he can't run a half-court offense.
Yes.
And that's, that seems, pretty harsh. But the reality is he's a left-handed dominant player, very talented, very quick, but
Yeah.
he needs to play on just, the most awesome offensive team in the league, because if the onus is on him to run a half-court offense, he's not going to be able to do it. It's just not in his game.
And again, it's such a shame that De'Aaron Fox is not someone that the Warriors could ideally trade for. He's just not what they need at all.
No.
Furthest from it. And we'll bring up some trade talk because, like for example, Kurt Porter in our chat brings up Anthony Davis and whether or not he could be a good fit for the Warriors. And we'll discuss that. So, but I kindly ask everyone out there who's already dreaming up trades. There are multiple trade machines you can use that are public, that are free. ESPN has one. I think Real GM has one. There's a bunch of them. Just Google NBA trade machine and they'll all come up on page one. Try and make a trade with the Mavericks. Now, I don't know, and these trade machines don't reflect like January 15th when suddenly a lot of players become eligible for trade. I also don't know if January 15th matters for the CBA, but the Mavericks are screwed. And that unfortunately affects teams like the Warriors who maybe are fantasizing about making a deal with a team like the Mavericks. There's two players that come to mind with Dallas. I guess we're jumping into this now real fast. Anthony Davis is not the target that I was looking at in these hypothetical trades. Like I was looking at Dallas and thinking, how could the Warriors make a deal where you get back, let's say, Daniel Gafford and Clay, right? Make it a homecoming for Clay. That's not working out there. Steph would be happy. I wouldn't mind Clay coming off the bench, helping to space the floor. I'd take his minutes over Buddy Hield all day, every day. But then the moment you use that trade machine, like Dallas is I don't know what the rules are that's preventing them from being able to do pretty much anything, but they can't do shit. Like every trade that I've tried to make with the Warriors and the Mavericks ends up with the machine saying, you can't do this, red X, because the Mavericks have to export 32 million. The Mavericks have to bring in 24 million. And I was trying to actually figure out what's going on here. And I think the way it works, is that the Mavericks have to literally match penny for penny with whatever team they trade with. Meaning, if you're just a penny over what you're bringing back, it ain't happening. It's not going to work. So while we can dream about Mavericks trade scenarios, and for all you Kaminga haters, we can dream about who to trade him to, the CBA is so messed up in terms of the restrictions it places on teams. Do you have anything to add to that? I don't know if you've done your research on trades.
No, I have not done any research on trades. But when you start thinking about Dallas players, I'm glad you didn't mention Anthony Davis because he's a high-priced guy. And at some point, as fans, we have to face the reality of players not being ready to play because they're injured. That's a franchise killer.
Yeah,
when a good player can't play. Today, it came out that Bradley Beal is going to have season-ending hip surgery in the Clippers.
Yeah,
he's done. So guess what? The Clippers are done. They made all this
Is it that drastic?
Yeah, I think he is. I mean, and the reason being is because they basically gave away Norman Powell to open the gateway for Brad Beal.
Oh my God. That's because all I hear from Clem. And side note, look, we're a Warriors show. I never celebrate injuries, so I'm not sitting here saying that, but the Clippers are a rival, and seeing their downfall, like every Clipper, it makes me happy. I can't help admitting that. Every Clippers fan that I talk to, and I have a couple that are like big Clipper fans, Dime Dropper, a former guest of the program, great dude. I chat with him regularly. Like the overwhelmingly unanimous or the overwhelming majority of sentiment from Clippers fans is they miss Norm Powell, which plays into what you just said, that Bradley Beal was situated to replace him and he's gone. Now, there was also people saying when Bradley Beal and James Harden were in the backcourt together, that was arguably the worst defensive backcourt in the NBA. And so maybe there's a counterbalance there, but that's a hip injury, a broken hip. Oh man, dude, when players in their 30s start breaking their hips, it always leads me back to Azal.
My neck, my back, my neck and my back. Oh.
all day, every day. I can't resist. Yeah, Bradley Beal. I mean, that's a career ender, dude. At his age, I mean, look, good for him. He's got like $500 million in his bank account, I think. But, but yeah. So, Buddy Hield, we got to talk about this for a second. Frank, I had the distinct privilege of being able to actually watch film footage of two different games, and they were both the road games, the Pacers and the Bucks. And it was the film that they show in practice film sessions.
Wow.
It's the film that video coordinators basically record and prep and set up for the team. And you have like 4 angles. It's insane. And I actually just dedicated an afternoon to watch these two games just to see, like, okay, what are these guys looking at in practice film? And the options are so much bigger, and you have all these different, again, angles. And if there's one unanimous thing I saw from those two games, and that's on top of everything I'm watching on my television set, which again is a far better view than you'll get in the arena, which for folks like you and I, Frank, I think we have a slight advantage over the media folks who are watching in the arena. You're not getting as good of a perspective. I know you're getting a different one because you're seeing what's happening when the cameras aren't on you, but you can't see up close. Like, unless you're right up there, I don't know how you can analyze this stuff properly if you're not watching it on TV. With that said, my point here is when it comes to watching the Warriors and what the prevalent theme is for what is wrong with them, it starts with Buddy Hield. Now, look, if he's hitting his threes, it's a different story. I mean, look, and the good news is he does still provide spacing that I know Steve Kerr relishes and loves. But two things stick out to me with Buddy that, again, which drives me insane and makes me endlessly wonder why he's getting the minutes he gets. One is the defense. In my opinion, he is the worst defensive player on this team. And I don't think it's even close. Like, every player who's matched up with him tonight, he actually had a couple decent possessions defensively, a couple, but players routinely are just like, one crossover is all you need. And he's tripping on his feet, and he's like, and players are just blowing by him standard, even without any type of moves. His defense is a drain. And if he's not making his shots offensively to counter that, he's just a sieve out there, man. He's just literally a black hole. Tonight, he played 15 minutes, 31 seconds. I would have given Will Richard all those minutes. And we'll talk about Richard in a little bit, but Buddy Hield, 4 points. And those 4 points came from 1 field goal made, not from 3, and 2 free throws. He was 0 of 2 from deep. I don't know why he's not getting benched, man. You brought him up earlier. I agree with you. I think his play is bad. What are your thoughts on Buddy Hield?
If the Warriors had a chance to sign him right now, they wouldn't do it. It's the bottom line. I mean, they signed him to a 4-year, $32 million contract that's not tradable unless you're like giving the house away or something like that. So I think what they decided last year collectively, because I don't think it was one person who made that decision. They said, listen, this is who he is. This is what we have. We got to find a way to get something out of him. And I think, now this is observationally, I think one of his challenges is, and I don't know him personally, but he looks like he has a very short attention span. No, seriously.
I believe you. I believe you.
I mean, it sounds like a joke, but when I watch him, he makes like mistakes that I know he's been coached on. Because these are not basketball plays. It's unbelievable for me to watch this, right? So if he's not making his shot, and he's not making his shot right now, everything that he's learned like 30 seconds ago, he forgets. And then he kind of remembers it again. I know.
It's frustrating. It is, man. I feel you.
Because you don't expect players at this level to do the things on the court that he does. Like, how many times did he like step on the baseline? How many times did the ball just drop out of his hands and hit some poor lady in the front row? I mean, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. But when he's making his shots, he's shooting 45% from 3. He can help you win basketball games. But now, he's not making any shots.
He's milking that Game 7 last year to the bone, man. Every last drop he is squeezing from that incredible Game 7 performance. Let's hear from Al Horford. We got some sound coming down now from San Antonio, and this is courtesy of Joseph Dikis with the Bay Area News Group. chief among them, the Mercury News, once a very proud organization that I'm honestly surprised they still exist, but nonetheless, they do. And here is, sorry for the unnecessary jab. Here is courtesy of Joseph Dykes, Al Horford talking about Draymond Green's defense. Again, a theme that we talked about extensively. Turn the volume up on your devices, please, just because this is likely coming from a cell phone. I'm looking at this microphone right here. Nothing's plugged into it. Is it just a prop? I wonder what this thing is doing here. Anyways, here is Al Horford talking, and I don't know if I'll play the whole 354, but Al, good to hear from him. Here he is talking about Draymond Green.
Yeah, you know what? Offense and defense are connected. And I felt like tonight, from the beginning, there was a very clear effort of our group wanting to move the ball, to move the ball, play a little faster. And then on the offensive end, we got it going like that. So then defensively, I felt like we started flying around a little more, playing better. We had some coverage mistakes there, the little cleanup, but I feel like that was the difference. I think that the ball was moving. It just wasn't, we weren't overthinking it. We were just making the simple play.
How much do you think the rotational changes allowed you guys to do things like play faster and move the ball better?
I just think it was just the mindset of our group. Coach was.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt. Good. Al Horford heard that question and was thinking, how do I answer that one? Because it was set up, and I think that was Danny Emmerman who asked that. That was set up for him to get into Kerr's rotational decisions, and you could tell he didn't take the bait there. Sorry to interrupt. Let's listen on.
Very they made us conscious, aware of what we just need to be better. We can't, and we have to make quicker decisions. It has to be crispier, and we have to be able to get to our spots. And I just feel like every guy that got in there tonight, we did that in one way or another. First unit did it. When the second unit came in, we kept bringing the energy and try to play fast, and it worked out in our favor. As the game went on, we were able to wear them down.
Seemed like you were able to force Wembanyama to take some difficult shots, 8 turnovers. What was kind of the key to defending him tonight?
Draymond did a really good job on him, contesting all his stuff. And it's tough because, you can't take everything away from him. And he still finds a way to get 31 points. When he pulls up like that for 3, it's hard. And, you try your best to challenge it. But I felt like we did good. We contained them as best we could. He's still going to, impact the game. But I felt like we were good.
What
And we'll
does stand out the most about Draymond's defense on?
we already heard all this. Okay, so Brink, your reaction to Al Horford there, not taking the bait and talking about defending Victor Wembanyama, never an easy task.
I mean, Al's a future Hall of Famer.
You think?
Oh, without question.
Interesting.
Oh,
I never thought about it until you just said that.
No,
Okay.
He's at least a 4-time All-Star. He's an NBA champion. He's a 2-time NC2A champion. He's an ambassador of the NBA. Now, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. He played for my boy in college at Florida. So I'm a big
Billy Donovan.
Yes, I'm a big Al Horford fan. I saw him about a month ago at the Hall of Fame. I can't think of a better way if he's not going to be in Boston to end his career as a member of the Warriors, because he's really a thoughtful, intellectual, team-oriented winner. And I'm not surprised that he was able to answer the question the way that he did, because he's a high-level thinker. And it really was beyond a single player or two.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was about mentality, and it transcended defensively and offensively. So I root for Al. I really do.
And for people who don't know, Billy Donovan, your former coach, who's now coaching, or did you play with him? Former coach or teammate? I'm sorry.
Teammate. We played together.
You played together. Okay, so he was your former teammate,
Yeah.
and he's the Bulls love him clearly because year after year they bring him back, they give him the extensions. I mean, he's a 2-time champion in college. if I have that correct, I hope. The Bulls this year look pretty good. Have you had a chance to check them out?
Yeah, I have. They're kind of on a tough spell now. But here's the thing about Bill. A lot of people, everybody who plays for him and people who get a chance to meet him, Billy has excellent communication skills. Excellent. If he has to have a tough conversation with you, he's going to tell you where he's coming from. And I think the players really appreciate that. And he's a gym rat, man. Gym rat. Every team he's ever coached has been good offensively. So players like to play for him. And, they are a little limited from a talent perspective, but they go out and give a pretty good effort every night. So, I'm happy he's doing relatively well right now.
And the Bulls surprising a lot of people this season. One last soundbite, and we'll be done with the multimedia, and then I guess slowly start to wrap it up. An hour plus flies by really quickly. Steve Kerr was asked after tonight's game what he thought about Stephen Curry's performance. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by what he said, but let's hear from him anyways. Here's the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr, talking about Steph's performance tonight, which included 46 points, his 43rd career 40 or more point night after the age of 30. Only one player has more of those, and that's Michael Jordan, who has 44. So Steph is now one behind Jordan for the most ever in terms of 40-point or more games after the age of 30. Here's Steve Kerr.
What can you even use to describe Steph's night?
Routine. I've seen this. How many times has he scored 40 in his career?
73. Oh, it's on the court of my bad. Yeah.
73?
74.
Yeah. I'm kidding, obviously. That was not routine. But, when you have the privilege of watching Steph for 11 plus years, like I have, you get used to this. And he's the reason this whole thing has happened. He's our Tim Duncan. He's the sun, in our solar system, and he's just such an incredible player and teammate, and it's great to see him back out there. I thought last night he was able to at least shake the rust off. It's probably good. He only played 19, 20 minutes, and you can see even in the first quarter he was still a little rusty, and then he found it.
There you go, and that was Steve Kerr talking about his boy Stephen Curry, another historic performance. The hair dye, Frank, is there must be bottles of this stuff all over the locker room of Golden State. You got Draymond dyeing the beard. The grays magically vanished there. Steph, I don't know if Steph's using dye, but I know he's got some grays popping up, and sometimes I see him, sometimes I don't. It could be lighting, it could be the hair dye, but I think Kerr's getting the dye as well, man. He's got less grays than normal. Got a little more blonde there, maybe some sun in. Yeah. You notice the same thing?
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's aware. He wants to look good on TV.
Man, I thought people remember when keeping it real used to be a thing. Like people actually used to want to be authentic, and now they're just trying to survive with looking young. Devin in Limbo, welcome to the program. How are you doing? What's on your mind? If you're there, Devin. All right, Devin, great job. Thank you very much. And that's our Frank. Do you have time for us to do a scoreboard real fast?
Let's do it. Yeah,
love it. Thank you, sir. Let's get some music going. I had some people in the chat saying they wanted to come on tonight. We posted the link. Nobody showed up, so we will move on and we'll start wrapping up the show. Again, following a win for the Golden State Warriors in San Antonio. They don't win in San Antonio that often. I promise you that. So when they do win there, it is something else. I watched one Warriors game there in San Antonio. The great Raymond Ritter set me up, and maybe I can show you folks a picture of that real quick before we call it a wrap. And this was the year that the Warriors won 73 games.
Wow.
So I was thinking when I went to that game, look, going to a game in San Antonio, chances are, expect the worst. The track record is shady. And, but I had some optimism, and because they were a juggernaut. They had won 73 games, or they were on pace to break the record of Jordan's Bulls and all that. And of course they lost that game, because that same season, the Spurs were also damn good. So was the fall. The Spurs have almost always been good, except for those few years where they're rebuilding. But anyways, Oh yeah, scoreboard. That's what we're doing. Let me get some music queued up here. Frank, anything you want to promote? I'm going to put the description to your show in our YouTube description. I'll make sure there's a tag directly there so people can subscribe to your program. The Dungeon, again, available on YouTube. Yeah, so let's get some tunes. And also on that note, that QR code right there represents the Golden Days merch store. The holidays are here. Tim Hardaway's the crossover king is going to join the program next week. He's got a new book out, speaking of the holidays, and some merch they want to sell. I'm ecstatic to have Tim back. Any questions, Frank, you want me to raise?
I just want to know what size T-shirts or gear you have, because I'll buy some.
I have everything.
You have triple X?
Colors, triple X. Okay. Yes. So the triple X, it might not be with literally everything, but not like 90% of our stuff has it. I think it's sold out with a few stuff, but yeah. So that QR code's right there. Yeah, Frank, thank you. Everyone else, thank you. If you do buy stuff, it would be awesome. And you can find the store directly on our YouTube channel. It's right up there at the top. Okay. Or just, again, go to that QR code. And thank you in advance for supporting the program. Let's go to the scoreboard here on today, Wednesday. Days no longer matter to me because the Warriors play on weekends. It's all just muddling together. Side note, while I'm speaking of the weekend, the Warriors play the Pelicans Sunday. And Swish Culture, who's pretty popular on YouTube, and he does a lot of Warriors analysis. He's been on the show before. He's going to dual stream with us. So that's what's upcoming. Some Swish Culture. Friday night, Armando Lore is going to join us following the Warriors and Spurs. And you know how positive he is. I'm being subjective. Are you familiar, Frank, with Armando?
Yeah, I watch you guys, man. I watch your show.
Dude, that means the world, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
I see you post every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Is that accurate for your show?
Yes, that is accurate.
Yeah, I do. I tune into you as well, brother. I love your work too. And again, I'd love to come on, dude. And especially if you want to do a movie review, it just depends on the film. But because I want to actually have seen it, it would be pretty weird for me to come on.
Are you going to the movies now? I mean, listen. Reach out to me. Let me know when you are going to watch a movie so we can pick a time. I saw Nuremberg last week, and very educational. I wouldn't call it an entertainment. It was. I'm glad I saw it. It was excellent filmmaking.
I don't go to the movies. All the movies I watch are when they're available on the streamers. Like, for example, I just watched Fantastic Four last week. I need to watch Weapons. I think that just came out on one of the other ones. Have you seen the movie? Because Sleepy Floyd, it's long overdue. He's going to come on the show soon. And I bring his name up because there's a movie that came out earlier this year. I think
saw it.
Freaky Tales, right?
I saw it, yeah. I
haven't seen it yet, and apparently it's all based here in the Bay Area in the 80s. Well, what's your take on that film? Because I'm going to bring Sleepy on, and I'm going to watch it before Sleepy joins the show. But I guess his character is like one of the main protagonists, correct?
Yeah, I was very proud of the movie. I mean, it was a low budget independent film from a cat in Oakland, and Too Short's in it. Does a hell of a job. Plays a detective.
Like the real Too Short or someone playing Too Short?
No. Too Short is in the movie.
Amazing.
And
is also, Sleepy in it himself?
I don't know if that's him or not. His character is obviously in it. But the movie's good. Also, the guy who's in the Fantastic Four. What's his name?
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah, exactly. Which was crazy. I didn't see much press about it, but
it's an independent joint. But
was it good though? Did you like it?
I did. It was good.
Okay, I gotta check that out. And again, at some point in the near future, Sleepy will come on really quickly because Nick's sitting here waiting, and I don't want to just leave you hanging. Sorry to catch you mid bite, but what's on your mind, brother? Nick, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Ty. How are you doing? Yeah.
And Frank.
How's it going, Frank? Sorry, I think it's my first time meeting you officially, but
it's okay.
I've been watching you come on the Coop Show and Golden Days for a while, so big fan.
Larry and I'm guessing Frank, you're going to be part of that too. We're going to do a post-game show soon. Larry has not been watching the Warriors at all, so but he wants to do a post-game show. That's the setting for when we're going to collaborate next. Anyways, go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
No, I mean, on the note of Freaky Tales, the way that I would phrase it, I think Grant Cohn said this, but he said it's the most entertaining movie about nothing. There's not really a strong plot, but it's just very entertaining, and it's about Oakland and stuff. I actually watched it at Grand Lake Theater, so the first opening scene is in Grand Lake, so that was pretty cool.
That's why they had the press thing was there too. I couldn't go to that, but good stuff. All right, so we got 2 thumbs up. Nick, what's on your mind about the Warriors tonight?
Yeah, I mainly wanted to get your thoughts, Sai, on Kaminga not playing much. Also, just how do you feel about that? I noticed a lot of 4-guard lineups, but we were winning, so it's like classic Kerr. I can just imagine him like chuckling and like feeling so good about himself for those. I don't know lineups.
I don't want to be like facetious and act like Kerr's doing this just out of spite or anything like that. I don't think it's that extreme, but I don't know. Frank, do you think it's that extreme? Do you think Kerr in his mind is going, F you, Kaminga? Yeah, you just sit there, you son of a bitch. I control you, kid. I own you. You just sit right there because you're mine. I don't think he's thinking like that.
No, I don't think it's to that extent, but I do think that he likes being the boss.
Yes.
And he likes flexing every now and then because he believes that he's right. I mean, and Frank, it's actually reminiscent of Lou Olson and Phil Jackson, Popovich. I mean, he likes being the guy.
Yeah.
He does.
The ego is very real. What I tell people is he's at this stage of his career, he reminds me a lot of Bill Belichick at the tail end, where he thinks he's responsible for this whole thing. Like that is how he operates. Like he believes in his mind that without him, there is no dynasty. And maybe he's 10% right because, he clearly made a difference in Steph and all these guys just flipping a switch and going from a playoff team to like a champion. But at the same time, man, just ego. It's gonna be toxic.
I think his system has always been really good. I mean, that was the biggest difference after Mark Jackson. It's just the fact that Kaminga doesn't fit the system. I think we know that now. It's super clear. And so you notice the impact that Gary Payton II makes when he comes in, even though he's massively undersized, can't shoot the 3. No one's really getting layups with Wemby guarding the paint like that. So it's just about the flow of the offense is a lot better without Kaminga. Even the defense, I think, is a little bit better. It just sucks because he's such a great athlete, and I feel a better coach would have been able to utilize his skills and put it together. So it's just really a shame to me, but I do think that with the right players, the Kerr system is good, and he is a good coach at. I don't know if his adjustments are the best. I think his adjustments are pretty good too. But yeah, on board with that. I definitely think that he's got a big ego. It's kind of like a Belichick Brady thing. But I mean, they're best buds. Kerr and Curry are best buds. So I don't.
Well, that's why I've given up on like the whole fire Kerr thing because it's never going to happen as long as Steph is there, or at least as long as they're a contender. Like I could maybe see a scenario kind of like remember Magic Johnson had Mike Dunleavy as his head coach for those tail end years. Like I can maybe see something like that if the Warriors are at that point where they're not going to win championships, but Steph's under contract, he wants to keep playing. Like who knows? Maybe you might see some funky situation like that. But yeah, it's Steph's guy, and my issue has always just been the rotations. Like it's just with Kaminga. I believe this firmly. And Frank, I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Like if you just give him a very set routine where he's playing 32 minutes a night and he's playing like what Steph used to do, where a full first quarter, 6 minutes, second, fourth quarters, so Steph was getting 36 minutes like that. And I'm not sitting here saying he is Steph. I'm not arguing like that. I'm not pretending they're the same person, but that I think would allow Kaminga and the other youngsters to be able to focus strictly on their job and not also be thinking about, what do I have to do to stay on the court? What did I do wrong that made me get off the court? Like the less you're making your players think, the better. That's just me. I don't know. Frank, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I'm watching Sacramento last night, and I'm inserting Kaminga mentally into that lineup. And I know that Sacramento crowd, they would love to have him on that team simply because of what you're talking about. Their expectations is not winning the championship right now. Their expectation is to play hard and be entertained. And if you put Kaminga on the court with a Westbrook, with a DeMar DeRozan, some of the other pieces that they have, he's going to average 18 to 20 points a game and be exhilarating to the crowd at times.
Yeah.
And that is the process by which young players develop. And he's never really had that opportunity with the Warriors. And that's the frustrating thing that I see because he leans into Is Kerr playing head games with me? He's asking those questions because, as you said, Sai, Kerr doesn't always communicate to his players what he's going to do, and he doesn't feel that he has to communicate. So they start creating answers on their own sometimes.
Yeah, and that just is not like Ramona Shelburne was on this program 6 months or something like that. I should try to get her back on. And I thought she nailed it, like, because she was a former athlete herself, and so she had that perspective when she was interviewing all the players for stories she's done on the Warriors. And what she reported and said on the show is that the players struggle routinely because they don't know their role. Like, they don't know. Like, one night, and she was putting herself in their shoes when she was a softball player at Stanford, where if you know you're going to be in the lineup every night, if you know where in the lineup you're going to be batting every night, that's one massive less thing to think about. When you're in the batter's box and you're wondering, dude, if I don't get an RBI here, if I don't get on base here, coach might pull me. Like, your thinking's totally different, and I don't think that is conducive for success to put a player in a situation like that. And players like Kaminga, Moses Moody, and Will Richards quickly getting there as well. Man, this kid is impressing. Just give them set roles, like the whole mad scientist thing, which has been going on for 3 years now. I don't think that's a right way to do things, but that's just I don't know.
Yeah, I think certain guys also can handle it. Like, that's why G Leaguers do so well in the Kerr system, is because they're used to that sort of dynamic. They're used to not expecting when to play, and so they're better at handling that. I think Will Richard also seems better at handling that. But when you have a player like Kaminga, and Frank, you were mentioning this, he would be doing so much better in Sacramento because he'd have the ball in his hands. And even Aaron Turner, his agent, mentioned this, is that rhythm is really important for Kaminga.
Yes.
But in the Kerr offense, what he's being asked to do is, play off the short roll, just make quick decisions, pass the ball. It was never meant to be. And I can't believe that he's still on the team after all this while and nothing has changed. He's still playing out the short roll. He's still turning the ball over.
The reason why is because Joe Lacob is not ignoring the future. That to me, I don't think it's complicated. Either he's an asset that you can flip. If like, let's say the Warriors, what they did tonight carries into January, right? Like, let's say what we saw tonight, hypothetically speaking, is the start of a crazy run where they win 20 of their next 25, and Kaminga keeps playing like this, where he's just getting spot minutes, like 10 minutes, 12 minutes, but the Warriors are still rocking and rolling, and they're winning, and they look like a real contender. I could maybe see a trade. Like, if there's legitimate hope for a championship and you're just a piece away, I could see them going all in and making a trade. But if they turn around and let's say they're playing 500 ball in a situation like that, or if Kerr can actually integrate Kaminga more consistently, then he's the future, or at least he's part of the future. And so and they look ahead as much as they look at the present because they're businessmen, and you're not running a business without factoring in like future, situations. And they're not going to ignore the fact that if Kaminga's not on this team, and let's say Stephen Curry gets injured, this team becomes irrelevant in like 2 seconds. Like this team is dull, they're slow, they're old, like they're not beating anybody. We already saw that with Stephen Curry being out those 5 games. Like, they are a very mid team without Steph. And Kaminga at least gives you a little life, gives you a little athleticism and energy and scoring, and that's where I wish he had a coach.
The ball in his hands. He does when he has the ball. And that's where when he doesn't have the ball, he just looks so out of place. He looks like he's unsure of where to be, where to go. And sometimes, but he thrives with the ball in his hands. When the ball is in his hands, that's when he's at his best. And I just don't see that happening this season. I do think that the Warriors are going to try to go all in, and I do think that there's going to be a trade, kind of regardless of what goes down, unless Kaminga just seamlessly fits and they win. So only in that one situation, if Kaminga's playing and they are winning, then there won't be a trade. But in pretty much all the other scenarios, I think there's going to be a trade, because you have to go all in this year.
For who, though?
You have to go.
A huge part of this is for who. This is what I always tell people who say you got to trade him, or he's going to be traded. For who? Like, what is out there
LeBron.
that you
let's get LeBron.
Really, dude?
You know what? It's interesting, Sai, because we follow this stuff. I'm sure you do as well, really closely. We know who the players are. The players are not there. Literally, the only thing the Warriors could do, and they don't want to do it because unless there's a major injury or something, they could conceivably get somebody to match salaries who is not going to be a long-term commitment for one of these lottery picks. Because there's a lot of players in this lottery that I'm sure they love. This is going to be one of the best lottery drafts in a long time.
Yeah.
But player for player, that player's not out there.
And like Josh and a couple of people, chief among them, or first among them, Joshua, Dave Labrador is writing Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. I wouldn't hate that, but would the Pelicans do it? I mean, that's a huge if. And I'll even bust out the trade machine to see if that's even possible. But I wouldn't hate that. But it'd have to be you're not going to give them up for nothing. Like you got to get equal value back. And again, you got to look to the future. Joe Lacob does love him. Joe Lacob sees the potential in him that I see as well. And it sounds like, Frank, you see it as well. Like, he could be something very special. This just clearly is not the right environment for it. And then the question becomes, can he just sit tight and be the role player like he is right now for this year? And then they figure that out once the veterans are truly cooked and you're no longer dependent on them. I think that's what this ultimately comes down to. But
yeah, I agree. But go ahead, Frank.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I just don't think Kaminga could ever be a star as a role player. Like he's not one of those. He's not like, you know, like when Dre says like you got to be a star in your role. Like I don't think that is Kaminga. That's never. That's not him. How he's
absolutely
built.
Right.
Yeah, and so I think that like. I think I could see Lacob, like Frank was saying, the next lottery is stacked, right? I could see Lacob moving off Kaminga for one of those lottery picks.
The tank. Well, here's the good.
Well, not the tank, but like part of a trade. You know what I mean?
Oh, to get more assets for extra picks.
To get a lottery pick from next year using Kaminga, and then like some sort of like effective role player that would still fit in seamlessly in the current system. That's a really possible scenario
that's possible, but then you'd have to follow it up with, okay, who would give that pickup for Kaminga?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And who are we talking about here? Is it that would the Nets do that? Maybe they are pretty moronic. I mean, Sean Marks has a track record of moved. Is it the Jazz? Is it? I mean,
he ain't going to the Jazz.
No, Danny is not doing that. Yeah.
No.
Is it the Kings? I mean, the Kings are talking about blowing it up, but then would the Kings give up that pick? I don't think so either.
No.
You know, it's just that's the complication in all this. It's so much easier to say, yeah, trade him for this. This is the plan, but you need that other partner, and you need that other, the other side of it is the hard part.
The other two players that you mentioned, Herb Jones and the other kid from Virginia. I like those guys. I don't love those guys. I mean, I'm asking you this question right now. If they were that good, would New Orleans keep getting their keep?
That's a great point. That's a great point. Yes.
Not winning. I like the kid Queen better than both of them.
Yeah. We need a big. Yeah, we need another big too.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, listen, Kaminga has already shown if you play him 30 plus minutes a game, he's going to average 20.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like every organization, something that bothers me is like every organization is working towards a championship. Talk about privilege. I mean, seriously. As a basketball fan, I raise my eyes at that. As a Warrior supporter, I hope it happens.
Yeah.
But only one team wins a championship. Most fans want to come to the arena and have a diversion in their lives like the Sacramento Kings and just say, wow, that was fun. I got to go to work the next day. The Warriors are like, well, we're working towards winning the championship. Wow, what a privilege.
Yeah. That is a privilege. And I did the research recently, just in case people were curious about what Kaminga's numbers are when he plays 30 minutes or more, because that's always been my argument from the get-go. Like, just play the kid. When he actually gets minutes, great things happen. And he's done it 46 times in the regular season. This doesn't include those playoff games, so the numbers would probably be boosted even more if you included that. When he plays 30 minutes or more, it's happened 46 times in his career. I went through all the individual games as well to see like how many of these were garbage time, and you'd be surprised. Like, I'd say probably like 10-15% of them were his rookie season, and all the negative net ratings that come with his performances when he plays 30 minutes or more are mostly, not all, but most come from his rookie year, meaning all the games where the Warriors, and that's the year they won the championship. So all the games where they didn't win that year and they were just getting their butts kicked, they throw Kaminga in for garbage time. There might have even been games where they were blowing another team out and they throw Kaminga in for garbage time. So those were factored in too, and there were about, out of the 46 games, I think about 8 or 10 of them were from that rookie season. But even with those factored in, He averages 20.7 points per game. Again, 20.7 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game. He shoots 53.6% from the field and 41% from deep. Individual net rating, I only added that for the nerds out there who, and even nerd's not the proper label, because if you were a real nerd, that means you at least study math, so you'd understand individual net rating is a totally bogus stat. But just in case you're curious, he has a plus 41 in those games. The team is above 500 in those games. Now, not to mention most of the losses were in that rookie season. So again, great things happen when he plays. Even the nights like the other night, he had an awful shooting night, right? I think he was 1 of 9 from the field. It was something like, was that him? Or maybe Moody had a bad night too. But I know he had one really bad shooting night.
Yeah.
But he only played like 20 minutes. And some players, like Cade Cunningham the other night, had an awful shooting night, but he also had a triple double. He made like a huge bucket late in the game to win it for the Pistons, who were playing well. Players need minutes, right? Like, to get a full picture of who they are. And a lot of games, Kaminga, like where you see these bad stats, he played 20 minutes. It wasn't a great start. And we're judging him on these 20 minutes. And that is not a healthy sample size to judge someone on. Now, when he's playing 30 minutes, that is a sample size. And he delivers routinely. But just Curtis,
I feel like it's been messed up from the start, right? Like
not
I
the
was
rookie.
saying,
They won a title his first year. So
I mean, after that, right? Like, as soon as the Poole punch happened and we dumped Poole for Chris Paul, that should have been the moment where we started properly integrating Kaminga into the team. But we never did. It's like we've been trying to, the idiom, square peg in a round hole. That's how it's been for the last 3 years. We've been trying to get Kaminga to play this role of, like a scrappy role player who's doing all the dirty work on the team, but that's never really been his strong suit. And I can't believe the Warriors, as smart as they are, with all this championship pedigree, can't figure this out and haven't figured it out yet. And
well, again, Nick, that's why Bob Myers left, is because Bob Myers had 3 lottery picks in 2 years, and he had a coach who had no interest in playing them. And Bob Myers cares so much about personal relationships that he was suddenly in this position where he had to like explain to players that why the coach was not routinely playing them, and not to mention like these are his picks that the coach is not playing, and he was done with that, man. He's like, I'm out. Nick, we got to wrap things up here. Any final thoughts, brother?
No, I mean, just want to shout out Will Richard, Moses Moody again. I mean, I think that we do have some hope with them.
Agreed.
They're both very solid. Richard is impressing me more than Moody, but Moody was so good from 3 tonight. So yeah, overall, optimistic win. I was feeling really skeptical in the first quarter. I thought it was done.
They scored 14 first quarter points, man. This did not look good at the start. Moses Moody single-handedly saved this game with that second quarter.
And then after that, just Curry came in and he got fired. So we got lucky there. But how feasible is Steph Curry dropping 43 a night now? Like we needed that to win. And so I still think I'm still pretty pessimistic about the season. If there's no trade, I mean, I just think that there has to be a trade. So I'm excited to see what goes down, how the season shapes up. Yep.
Cool. Nick, have a great night, brother. Come back soon, will you?
Yep, we'll do. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, brother. And real quick, Nick, before you go, where are you? Where are you in the Bay Area or?
I'm in Oakland. I'm in Oakland.
Nice. What part?
Near the lake.
Okay. So you know all about the Freaky Tales movie too?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Proximity. There you go. My uncle and cousin live near the lake too, and they love it. Even though you can't swim in that thing, it's so disgustingly dirty. But Lake Merritt. Have a great night, Nick. Thanks, man.
Have a good night, guys.
Very much. And that is Nick. Frank, are you in better terms with Chardal, or is that still?
No, we are. We're getting there.
You good?
He's conducted himself pretty well over the past month, and things are working out.
We'll do 1 second here, just a quick hit, because Chardal is a part of this program. He's typically our closer, and as long as he's respectful, I'll give him a moment. Chardal, good to see you. How are you feeling?
Hey Frank, I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel, In the Dungeon Show, man. I'm a big fan of your show. You make some great content. Hopefully you'll get like some special guests in your show, like LJ Cryer.
LJ Cryer. Yeah, I'm rooting for him. You know, I don't know if it's my own arrogance or whatever, but I said I wouldn't have a guest on my show until I had at least 1,000 subscribers.
I know. Sai has been really wanting to get LJ Cryer on his show, but he has to get out to talk to his Hill's agent.
No, sure, I'm glad you brought that up. So I actually spoke to LJ Cryer's agent today. His agent, again, is part of, I think it's the same corporation that is part of Stephen Curry's agency. And so we talked, and I'm gonna get here back on Monday. Nothing confirmed, but I really want to get LJ Cryer on the show, dude. He made a really strong impression on a lot of people during the preseason and during camp. He's averaging over 25 a game in Santa Cruz. Yeah, wow. and he's shooting over 40% from three while doing that. He like in the same way that Will Richard has made this great impression as the 56th pick in the draft. LJ Cryer is not far off in terms of a similar background. I think Cryer had 4 years in college too, if I'm not mistaken. Made it to the. Did they play against each other in the title game?
Yeah, they did.
That's insane. Yeah. So there you go. So
hey Frank, if I keep my behavior up and I'm good, I can probably come on your show if I compose myself and not ask stupid questions in the chat and piss off the host.
That's a great goal. Yeah. That could happen.
Because if I don't ask stupid questions and I stay composed and keep the host happy, you let me on the show one day, and you never know.
No.
Life is plentiful, right? You never know what's gonna happen in life.
No shades on in the dungeon. All right?
I look good with shades off, so I can keep on shades off. I'll come on the show.
All right.
I took my shades off. I look very beautiful without shades off.
Sure, at all. Any final thoughts? We've been going forever. We want to call this a night. Any final thoughts?
Hey, Sai, I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel. You make some great content videos on the platform. Golden State Warriors takedown. Frank, how are you doing?
He's doing good. Shardal, how many subs do you have on your channel?
So I'm a big the Golden State Warriors took down the San Antonio Spurs 125-120. Stephen Curry went off for 44 points. I mean, anytime Stephen Curry goes off.
46.
So Stephen Curry had finished. So what were your thoughts on the game? Stephen Curry finished with 46 points. What were your thoughts on the game?
Sure, I'll have a great night. All right.
Viewers, make sure to click the like button, smash the subscribe button, ring that notification bell for Golden Days, reference to the 1993 Matthew McConaughey movie Dazed and Confused, one of the greatest movies of all time, one of the greatest stoner movies of all time. I could watch that movie like over 50 times and not get sick and tired of watching it.
It is. Agreed. Shardal, you were on fire.
And make sure to subscribe to the SGA Sports Out channel. I'm at 506 subscribers. I'm on the road to 600. And subscribe to this man right here, Frank from the In the Dungeon Show.
Yes,
make sure to subscribe to his channel, man. He makes some great content as well, man.
Yes.
Great to join you, all three of you. And I'll join you back on another Warriors postgame show, man. It's great. It's great.
Okay.
I'll join you on Friday, man. It's great coming on the show, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, brother. Thank you so much. That was clean. That was a clean in and out, right, Frank? I hope.
That's pretty good. No, I was fine.
All right, real quick in the scoreboard, and then we are out of here. The Denver Nuggets currently lead a Clippers team that found out today that Bradley Beal is gone for the year. 104-90. This is in LA. The Nuggets are about to improve to 9-2. Nikola, Frank. Oh my God, have you seen this box score?
I have not.
Nikola Jokic, and this game is still has a quarter to go. Currently has 52 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and if the Clippers can keep this close, we're talking maybe a 70-point game. Who knows?
He's special, man.
Do you agree with the rhetoric? Some people are saying that Nikola Jokic is out of shape this year. I don't.
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah, I actually put a tweet out there last night because I'm so amazed with his ability to put these incredible numbers up, his skill set. But he's at least 20 pounds heavier this year than he was last year. At least 20.
It makes you wonder if he's going to try to use the season as his conditioning or if that's going to bite him in the ass.
Yeah.
We shall see. The Charlotte Hornets 111-100 winners tonight over the Bucks at home to improve to 4-7 on the year. Cake Brenner, I don't know who that is, but he had 17 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks in the win. Ryan Rollins leading Milwaukee in the loss with 25 points, 6 assists. Frank, the Ryan Rollins emergence has been fascinating. He is playing good ball.
I'm happy for the kid. I mean,
me too.
2nd round pick. And it really speaks some to the Warriors scouting, I mean, they can identify some guys who have potential. Unfortunately, the Warriors find a way to let those guys go, because imagine him being a backup point guard at this point, somebody who you develop, you gave a guaranteed contract to because you thought so highly of him. I'm happy for this kid, man. I really am.
Agreed. I wholeheartedly agree. And it's crazy to me that he's become an elite defensive player. Like, I guess he's among the leaders in deflections and all these crazy stats. Elsewhere in the NBA, the Orlando Magic beat the Knicks tonight, 124-107. Franz Wagner, 28 points, 9 rebounds in the win. The Knicks losing at Madison Square Garden despite Jalen Brunson scoring 31 points, adding 6 assists. The Warriors are going to play the Magic on this road trip. Orlando gets back to 500 with this win after a slow start. What do you foresee when the Warriors are in Disneyland, Disney World, whatever it is, next, I think, Tuesday? I don't think that's going to be easy, Frank.
No, it's not going to be easy. And again, it speaks to what you're saying. I mean, to replicate what they did tonight is highly unlikely. They need a guy like Kaminga or some of these young guys who can just win athletically if you're going to beat some of these talented teams on the road.
What is your, I don't know I'd love to know your thoughts after I read the score, because the Boston Celtics, who don't have Jason Tatum this year, they improved to 6-7, destroying the Memphis Grizzlies at home, 131-95. Salty Aldama led the way for the Grizzlies with 14.6 rebounds, which means that John Morant had another bad night. That looks like a disastrous situation. It's one of those where it's, the question that keeps coming to my mind is, why did you hire this coach, the Isilou or whatever his name is, the European dude? Undoubtedly a borderline genius based off scheming, based off just his vision of how to manage 5 players on a basketball court. And however, that system is predicated largely on ball movement, not on pick and rolls, not on ISO play. Basically, everything John Morant thrives in is what this coach does not adhere to, and it's caused a lot of strife. What are the Grizzlies doing? Like, can you make sense of that?
I honestly believe that it's kind of bigger than basketball. I think that franchise in Memphis, I live there. It's a great city, but I think that it was starting to become known for something that they didn't like, and they wanted to shake things up. I think it started with the coach, and you're going to see some more movement with the players eventually, because there's no trust there. They made a business decision, and they're going to have to live with that. John Morant, I think, ultimately is going to be moved to maybe Toronto or somewhere else. But he's not going to be there. I don't think he's gone. I think he's gone.
Some devastating news coming out of our chat. It just ruined the whole night. Shardal will not join us on Friday. I don't know what I'm going to do now. We'll try to stay focused here. John was not even what I wanted to ask you. It was about, on the Celtics side, Peyton Pritchard. Like, is this guy for real, man? The numbers tonight: 24 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. Again, net rating, take it for what it's worth. But when someone posts a plus 42, you're doing something right. Is this guy going to be like, what's the ceiling for Peyton Pritchard? Because I didn't think that would ever be a discussion, yet I'm asking.
Solid 10-year NBA player, better than Scott Brooks, probably make 80 to $100 million. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man, I root for guys like that. I mean, Peyton Pritchard is 5'10" to 6 feet tall. That's what he is.
The Scotty Brooks reference, gold. I haven't heard that name in a long ass time. I'll try to fly through the rest of these really quickly. The Cavaliers beat the Heat tonight, 130-116 in Miami. Miami, another team that the Warriors will be facing on this trip. That was a battle of Eastern Conference heavyweights. The Washington Wizards losing again. They dropped to 1-11. The Houston Rockets taking care of business, 135-112 at home. Amen Thompson, 18 points, 8 assists in the win. Alex Sarr, 25 points, 11 rebounds in the loss. And I don't know if you pay attention to the Wizards, Frank. I don't blame you if you don't. But they intrigue me because they have all these young pieces that I feel like a smart coach would play. but the guy coaching the Wizards, for whatever reason, is trying to earn the trust of the veterans, or even worse, he's trying to win. Like when that should not be the goal with this team. You should be developing your young talent to figure out what you got and who can stick around. But instead, CJ McCollum's getting minutes, Chris Middleton's getting minutes, and then Corey Kispert only plays 19 minutes. Cam Whitmore, 25 minutes, but even that should be higher to me. Bub Carrington only plays 19 minutes. That stuff drives me crazy. I don't know if you feel the same way, but
I mean, I do if the younger players are profoundly better than the veterans. I mean, just to arbitrarily say that I'm going to play a young player with a vet when it's close, you can really lose the team pretty quickly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't play the veterans, that means they have to come off the bench. And, you know, it can be really tough for a coach who doesn't have a lot of power when you're trying to motivate players who have made over $100 million. So he has to tread lightly on that because these guys think that they can get another contract.
Well, the Wizards are now 1-11 on the year. They continue being what the Warriors were 20 years ago. Portland Trailblazers, man, this is a team that has surprised a lot of folks in terms of accelerating their schedule, the time frame of reaching success. They improved to 6-5, beating the Pelicans 125-117. Shaedon Sharpe, if there's one guy on that team that sticks out to me, it's Shaedon Sharpe. Big time talent. No question about it. Yeah, and Kamari. There's just a lot of players on there. The Phoenix Suns. How are the Phoenix Suns above 500? They're now 7-5. How are they ahead of the Warriors in the standings? That is reality. They beat the Mavericks in Dallas 123-114. Devin Booker, 26 points, 9 assists in the win. Can you explain that? That's crazy to me.
Coaching. I mean, I watched them against the Warriors, and they compete from start to finish. And they got one of the best closers in basketball. Devin Booker has never played better basketball than he's playing right now. So I give the coach a lot of credit, but I give the players equal credit for stepping up and being professional, going out and putting forth a solid effort every night. It's pretty impressive.
It is impressive. Cooper Flagg had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists in the loss. A friendly reminder, Cooper Flagg just 18 years old. And look, for Warriors fans who still think about that loss last night to the OKC Thunder, the Thunder had a second of a back-to-back themselves. They hosted the LA Lakers tonight and beat the ever-living piss out of them too. 121-92 the final there. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who to me is the front runner again for MVP. 30 points, 9 assists. Luka Doncic, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists in the loss. Any surprise there?
No surprise at all, because OKC, as good as they are offensively, they're just as good or better defensively.
Yeah.
So, they're one of the top 3 teams in the NBA. They really are pretty good. Top,
they're just top. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else is in their class right now. It's scary. And they're doing this with the injuries. They're frightening. And last but not least, the Atlanta Hawks at Golden won tonight, 133-100 winners over the Sacramento Kings. Jalen Johnson, 24 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists in the win. Keon Ellis played 20 minutes. And the Kings, final question for you, sir, and we'll call it a show, are expected to blow things up and rebuild soon here. Any thoughts that you have for where players should go? Like, could the Warriors get involved? Anything?
No, the Warriors don't need any of their players. I mean, the only player the Warriors would like is Keegan Murray for Jonathan Kaminga. They would like that, but the Warriors are not going to take on that kind of money. Listen, anybody who thought that the Kings were going to be good, I got some beachfront property to sell you in Alaska. Okay, give me a break. As long as they go out and put forth a solid effort, in spite of Doug Christie trying to rally the troops. Come on, man. They're trying to acquire assets and get in the lottery. That's what they're doing.
I read a report that Doug Christie, piggybacking off what you just said there, supposedly gave a fury speech. That was the headline. I didn't actually watch it, but Franco, one more time, what would you like to promote, sir? I know you got In the Dungeon. You're on Twitter at Big Frank Red. Anything else you want to mention before we go?
Listen, everything is right there on the screen. I picked up a couple of subscribers tonight.
Nice.
How many people are listening or watching right now?
Right now, we still have 214 based off
Awesome.
this metric that I'm looking at. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
but yeah.
just sign up for the show if you like what you hear. Check me out on Sunday nights. And Sides, always a pleasure. I'm so proud of you, dude.
Well, let's do this again, man. I appreciate you for being patient with me.
Yeah.
I know like sometimes weeks or months can go by
all
and you
good.
don't hear. I thank you because I wish my life was calm. I really do. It's just it never is. There's always like 5 things I'm behind on. I'm sorry, man, but I do thank you sincerely for joining me. And again, if you don't mind, I'll invite you again. This was a lot of fun. I think the audience liked it too. I'm glad you picked up a couple subs. You'll probably pick up a lot more because the live show represents a fraction of our total audience for each episode. So hopefully by tomorrow or the day after, you'll have some extra subs on your channel, man. And tomorrow here on Golden Days, the Hall of Famer Rick Barry, he's going to join us. And something tells me he's happy that the Warriors won this game. So tomorrow's show will be a little easier, more lighthearted and fun. But he also is full of opinions, and I'm looking forward to hearing those. Any questions for Rick you think I should ask, Frank?
Yeah. Has he ever played for a coach who he thought was maybe playing head games with him unconsciously? Because I don't think any coach would consciously do that, but as a young, talented player like Rick Barry was, averaged 35 points a game in the NBA, did he ever feel that he didn't have the full trust of his coach? And if so, how did he feel and how did that affect his game?
I'm going to tell you right now that he will have an answer for that. I remember him bringing that up specifically. I can't remember if the coach was dating back to like college or high school, or if it was like the Warriors coach he had before he left the NBA. Like, do you know, I have no idea what the answer to this is, but do you know who was coaching the Golden State Warriors when Rick bailed to the ABA for those years?
I don't know. In the back of my mind, I know did Mullen coach the Warriors? Jeff Mullen ever coached the Warriors?
No, not at that. I don't know. I'll ask him.
All right, I don't know.
We'll bring it up. But Frank, thank you, brother. This was a great show, and the Warriors, man, they snap a 6-game road losing streak. Huge win tonight in San Antonio, 125-120, and we're back tomorrow with the Hall of Famer, and then Friday post game Warriors Spurs round 2. Frank, thanks, brother. Are we good? We done?
We're good, brother. Good night. Take care.